Hi everybody and welcome back. Today I'd like to outline for you some of the things that you will never have to be concerned about again for the rest of your life after you retire. But first I'd like to begin with this. There are some things that retirees are very concerned about and might even worry about from time to time, and I suppose money and health would top the list. After all, we don't want to run out of money after we retire, right? And we'd like to maintain our health as long as possible after we retire so that we can enjoy our retirement when we get there. And I've already done a number of videos on money and health because they really are that important to us, and I will do more of those in the future because people like us, retirees or soon-to-be retirees, are particularly concerned about money and health. But today, I would like to share with you 8 things that you will never have to be concerned about again for the rest of your life after you retire. And hopefully, this video will be a source of encouragement to you and maybe even uplifting to those of you who are watching, so thank you for stopping by. Number 1, when you retire, you will no longer be concerned with your mind being filled or occupied or preoccupied with work-related issues. Now let me explain what I mean. When you work for a company, you're paid to do a certain job, and that requires a lot of thinking on your part. There's projects that need your attention. There's problem solving that you have to engage in, and you have to come up with solutions. There's decisions that you have to make and that sort of thing. Then, of course, there's a corporate culture that you have to conform to. And then for some employees with some companies, you have to take sensitivity training and you have to sign off on that. So with all of those things in mind, essentially you are being told and paid what to think because you're under the authority of your employer, right? Now, here's what many people miss. Even when you're not at work, your mind is still occupied with things about work. For instance, you're thinking about the daily commute back and forth in traffic. You're thinking about preparing your lunches for work next week or where you're going to eat for lunch each day. You're thinking about washing and ironing your clothes for work or stopping by the dry cleaners and picking up your clothes for work. Then, of course, you get things like emails and texts and even phone calls after hours or on the weekends that need your attention. Furthermore, you're not even being compensated for all of this after-hours activity. You're essentially devoting a great deal of your thought life to work-related issues, even though you are not at work. Now, I've said all that to say this. This Headspace thing is a real thing. It really is. Our minds get filled up with work-related issues, even when we're not at work. Now, to say that another way, your manager or your supervisor or your work-related responsibilities live inside your head rent-free all week long, 7 days a week. It just lives up there rent-free. Now, you may not know it yet, but after you retire, that's a done deal. That's a thing of the past. I mean, it's goodbye Kansas and hello Yellow Brick Road. You can evict those squatters that are living inside your head rent-free all week long, and you can then fill your mind up with thoughts and things that are more uplifting and encouraging to you. Now that I'm retired, I can tell you this, I think about anything that I want to think about, not what I'm told to think about and not what I'm paid to think about. I now have complete ownership of my thought life. And this is probably one of the main reasons why retirement is so liberating and healthy for us. Just what it does to our mental health. Number 2, when you retire, you will no longer have to concern yourself with keeping a daily schedule, particularly a schedule that someone else is deciding for you. This means you no longer have to worry about getting up with an alarm clock at 5 a.m., leaving by 6:30, being in the office or on the job at 7 a.m. You no longer have to worry about getting off at 5 p.m. or having to work weekends or having Your schedule changed just by the stroke of a pen by your supervisor. When you retire, you have complete control and complete ownership of your schedule, not someone else, but you. Which means you control your time, you control your life, and you get to decide how you're going to spend your time. More importantly, when you take work out of the equation, now you have more time for your family commitments. More about that later towards the end of this video. Number 3, when you retire, you no longer have to concern yourself with being stuck in traffic, driving in traffic, or being exposed to road rage drivers. Now, I don't know what the traffic is like where you live, but I can tell you what it's like where I live. It is horrible. It really is. I live in a medium to small sized town outside of a medium sized city. And you would think that it would be quiet around here and that there wouldn't be much traffic on the road, but there's certain times of the day when the highways around here are just completely clogged up and gridlocked. I don't know if the people are moving here from out of state or if they're moving here from the city into the outlying areas or what, but there's certain times of the day, particularly the commute time in the morning, the commute time in the evening, in which the traffic is at a standstill and a complete gridlock. And if you get stuck in that, you're hours before you can get home. I just feel so compassionate for the people who have to still do that every day of their life. And then, of course, the weekends are bad too. But now that I'm retired, I have the good fortune of choosing my drive times, and I can choose to drive counter to those normal traffic flows in which the highways are so crowded. Furthermore, now that I'm retired, I don't have to worry about traffic jams, angry drivers, and road rage drivers. And that's a real thing, and it's a serious issue. You retire, you don't have to worry about that ever again. For the most part, I just stay at the house so that I can avoid those kind of traffic jams. Number 4, when you retire, you no longer have to concern yourself with a dress code or uniforms. How you dress in retirement is a choice, not a requirement. There's no dress code for you to comply with. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars on a wardrobe. You don't have to spend money on suits. You don't have to go out and buy business casual clothing. You don't have to buy safety shoes, steel-toed shoes, or either safety goggles. In other words, comfort and simplicity is the name of the game after you retire. Plus, since you don't have to spend so much money on wardrobes, it saves you a ton of money. And after you retire, since comfort is the name of the game, if you'd like to wear a pair of sweatpants with an elastic waistband, you can do that. You can do that all day long. Now, myself, in preparation for Thanksgiving, I plan on sewing 2 pairs of sweatpants together to make room for turkey and gravy. So I get to do that now that I'm retired. And by the way, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Ronnie. Thanks for stopping by. If you think you like the content in this channel, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and feel free to subscribe. Number 5, when you retire, you no longer have to worry about climbing up the corporate ladder. And you know what I mean by that. Professional advancement, getting promoted, upward mobility, breaking through the glass ceiling, being overworked, exhausted, constant training, retraining, night classes, going back for a degree, going back for another degree, going back for an advanced degree, and so forth. After you retire, none of those things apply to you anymore because you've done your time. I said you've done your time, and none of that applies. And what a relief it is to realize that you just don't have to concern yourself with professional advancement any longer. Now, you can just chill. You can chill anywhere you want. In fact, that's what I'm doing here today on this Sunday afternoon. I'm out here in my barn in the backyard, and here's my home gym behind me. And I like to chill here. And sometime in the future, I'm going to do a video on health and fitness, and I hope you'll stop back by. Number 6, you no longer have to be concerned about office politics, the rumor mill, or the good old boy network. And aren't you glad for that? And what I mean by this is gossip. Who's dating who? Office affairs. Who might get promoted? Who's getting fired? What's happening in the background? What's happening over there in the broom closet? Then there's backstabbing and political alliances that take place. Man, when you retire and you leave the workplace and you leave the office or you leave those toxic environments, all of that stuff is a thing of the past. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think about office politics and the good old boy network, the rumor mill? Leave me a comment below and tell me what you think. Number 7, when you retire, you no longer have to be concerned about the company reorganizing itself or restructuring itself and then putting your job on the line, which creates a lot of anxiety and stress. In today's world, corporate takeovers, private equities, buyouts, restructuring, and downsizing are a real thing. You can work somewhere for 30 years and be within just a couple of years of retiring, and then the company reorganize itself and you can lose your job or be demoted and sent down to the basement for lower pay. That's a real thing that happens. I used to work for Westinghouse Electric Corporation, and there were constant rumors there about layoffs and the plant closing down. And then one day it happened. I mean, it really happened. We had a series of layoffs that went deep into the employee base. Other employees were demoted and sent to new departments, and some employees were actually reassigned to new positions out of town, which meant they and their family had to relocate. Eventually, Westinghouse, the plant that I worked at, did close down, and General Electric bought it out. And then at that moment, a lot of people were forced out. But when you retire, you don't have to worry about whether or not your company is going to be around 5 years from now, because 5 years from now, you're going to be at the beach. I said 5 years from now, you're going to be at the beach, and all that worry is a thing of the past. And then number 8, when you retire, you will no longer have to concern yourself with missing out on family events because of work. Now, you don't have to cut your family gatherings short in the name of the company anymore. And let's be honest, for some of us, there's nothing greater than family, right? And you no longer have to worry about missing out on anniversaries and weddings and birthdays and ball games and recitals. And you no longer have to worry about missing out on holiday family gatherings because of work-related commitments. What a bummer it is to miss Thanksgiving because of work, or to be on a night shift, or to miss out on Christmas or the holidays or whatever because of work-related commitments. When my 2 sons were youngsters, they played baseball. They started at T-ball, and they played baseball all the way up through and out of high school. And when baseball season come rolling around, it was the height of our social life. We just absolutely loved it. We'd go down there and hang out in the ballpark, cheering our kids on. We would see other parents there. And it was just a great time. And I was at most of the games, but not all of them. I missed some of them. And I wish I had been at all of them. But I did miss a few, not too many, but more than I wanted to miss. And now I have 2 grandchildren. I have a grandson and a granddaughter, and both of them are active in sports and after-school activities. And you know what? I never have to miss. I never have to miss. That is one of the beauties of retirement. You never have to concern yourself again with missing out on family events because of work-related commitments. For me, after a lifetime of deadlines and interrupted vacations and missing out on some of our family events, I am now free from those kind of constraints being imposed upon me by other people. And so there you go. These are 8 things that you will never be concerned about again for the rest of your life after you retire. The only thing that you really do need to be concerned about is money and your health. Those other things, they're just going to take care of yourself. And so our main concerns are money and health. And if you'll stay with me, we're going to talk about money and health again in the future. Well, that's all for now. I'm interested in hearing from you, so leave me a comment down below. If you've enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button and feel free to subscribe. And you can share this video with others who you might think might benefit from it. And if you will do that, it'll help this channel out. Well, take care. I'm Ronnie, and we'll see you next time.